What up, gang? What's going on, TML? Ted Lots, Demud, SCNG, what up, what up? How's my audio, guys? My voice audio okay? My music audio okay? Just checking in. What's up, Liz? Great, awesome. What up, Armani? Good morning, Adam. Thanks, Liz. What's going on, Devon? Nudge Realm, Zia. Zia, man, my dude. Gotta trade safe today. You know, I think that that moment when you're close to being blown, that's a very pivotal moment. Don't YOLO that account. Ink trading going good, man. Going good. As always, man, my days fly by. It's blink of an eye. It's already a new day, you know? It's kind of crazy. Futures Duck. What up, what up? What's my bias on gold? Let's see. I'm gonna go through the chart review in a bit, but I'm still pretty bearish, to be honest. I mean, we gapped up, but in no means do I think we're in the clear. But I'll go over the charts in a bit here, gang. How's it going, Adam? You're hilarious, dude. You're hilarious. You make me sound like I'm so old. What's going on, Zach? Historic. What's going on, brother? What's going on? The FF indicator is pointing for a bearish sentiment on gold at the moment. We're beneath the 2-minute and the 5-minute trigger line right now. So for gold wise, from here, we would look for us to continue lower. That would be ideal. I don't think IPO should be something that we should even entertain, to be honest. I find that with something that big, speculatively speaking, I would like to say that a lot of the big money, smart investors, whatever, all that, like they probably already been gotten in. I think we're just liquidity for them, to be honest, at this point. Is SpaceX good to buy into at some point? Sure. I also think that you're automatically going to be buying into it through your index funds anyways, with whether you like it or not. That's kind of my honestly take on it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't dabble in it personally. Yeah, man, pretty much, pretty much. I don't want to sound so skeptical or anything like that because I'm not. In no means am I saying that it's like a bad buy at some point. I just don't think it's a good idea to be the first one to hop into that. Trading bot wizard, what's up, man? Thanks for the love, bro. I don't know, man. I feel like I've been training for this all my life. I was working 2 jobs when I was a teenager, and really never stopped there, man. I don't even know what it feels like to do less than the weeks that we do in terms of like the workflow that we do. So yeah, man. I don't know. These days, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, day trading, student one-on-ones, while figuring out this family move situation. It's tiring, man. It's no doubt. I'm looking forward to just getting the move taken care of and settling in so I can really just take a little bit of time back and wind back, man. What's going on, Jake? Shiv? What up? Good to see you, Anna. Yeah, you guys know the drill, man. Let's get those thumbs up, round up. This NQ right now, rejecting the VWAP. I'd like to see if we can hold the trend. We're kind of in a range at the moment, guys. It's a range that you can trade. I was really tempted to, when the stream started, to just like take a short off the VWAP and see where we could take it, but not looking to chase now. I think gold is still the more bearish object to go after, though. No doubt. NP, what's going on, man? Joseph, what up, what up? There's NP trades, and then there's MP trades. One's ES and one's NQ. You guys have to know each other. There's no way your names are so similar. I don't look at the spread personally. Is there maybe value in it? Maybe. I don't know, though. It's not my cup of tea. Thanks. Fresh haircut, but nothing in it right now. So it's just all over the place. In about 6 minutes, gang, we're going to do the trade review on NQ and gold as usual. Any of you guys get wrecked by the chop for the first 2 hours of the NQ today, man? I was talking to a few students. I know they had a hard time today. I was actually doing a student one-on-one with one of them during the New York session, and I think he definitely dodged some bullets just by being on the one-on-one with me, because I think that when you have your coach or your mentor like kind of proverbially hovering over your shoulder, it's a lot easier to not take stupid trades or to jump into things, right? So, but it was rough today. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Got the whole family watching the stream. Let's go, man. Trading bot wizard. Yeah, man. It was NQ was rough today, man. NQ is rough. Nice, Baljeet. Nice. What up, Chris? Nick trade. No reason other than I usually let the first 15 minutes roll in so that you guys are kind of hopping on as you go, and then I get to go through the trade review at that point. I get a lot of people who ask me multiple times, can you do a chart review? Can you do a chart review? So I do this just so that there gives enough time for me to let people roll in. I do the chart review, and then at that point, if anyone asks me that question again, I just tell them to rewind the stream. Yeah, you know what? I think their two best trades were pretty much after London closed, and then also I think there was a news that took place at 10:30, but those are two really solid trades. Obviously, we'll go over the chart review in a bit here. What's going on, Sosa? Geo, yeah, I knew quite a few people that were in shorts when that big Trump move happened in the market. Well, I think that the shorting of the gold futures, it's already taken kind of place. That's the reason why I put the forecaster bar earlier up, just remember there. You can see here, right here. I didn't take it though, obviously, but just because I'm about to do a chart review here, so I really don't want to enter a trade when I'm about to do that. But that was the short trade that I was talking about. Nice 11-point movement. So if that was on one mini, that would be like an $1,100 trade right there. Yeah, don't do anything crazy. I mean, what is it? Can't believe it's already Thursday. And for some of you guys, if you're in Toronto or Ontario, you're already Friday. Like, let's not do anything to wreck or ruin our weekend. I think it's so important for the mentals, right? You don't want to go into your weekend with blown accounts or frustration or anything like that. Now, mind you, if you can manage your mentals, then all good. Do whatever you got to do. But I'm just simply saying, don't feel the need to have to force any trades. Remember, as traders, right? It's like entrepreneurship. No one's telling you when to clock in or to clock out. You decide that. So, thanks, Neva. Ibrahim, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm about to do a chart review in a bit here, so I'm not going to take a trade. I was just mentioning the gold from earlier. Yeah, Groovy, someone asked the question earlier on as well. Honestly, man, my summary on SpaceX's IPO that takes place tomorrow is I'm not looking for, as a fellow retail trader, I'm not looking to be the liquidity for the hedge funds. There are people who have been invested into SpaceX for a long time. And I think that right now we're very likely during the IPO going to be the retail liquidity for the hedge funds. Will there be a value in buying into SpaceX at some point? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's still big. It's a big thing to invest into, even though I do think that the company's quite overvalued. But nevertheless, you know, I mean, I find that anything related to Elon, you don't really have to have a lot of quantitative reasons to go into it, other than it's because it's Elon. But I would not hop into the hype, man. Don't fall victim to that. Personally, for me, when it comes to IPO, I've had pretty bad experiences from the past, especially when I used to trade stock, actually. So I would steer clear, let it settle, and then hop in when there's a little bit more definitive read on price. Yeah, Armani, that's not a bad idea. I mean, you know, that's something I used to do a lot too when I still had like a good selection of prop firms that I would used to trade with a lot. I would save my Fridays actually for evals, right? Because like at least if you do bad, then all good. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world. But best if it works out for you, well, great. You get to pass a few new evals that could get into the funded stage, so that you have a fresh funded account for Monday morning when you start trading, right? So, or Sunday night, depending on what time zone you're in. That's fair, 50. I mean, you know, honestly, I don't think the New York session that takes place tomorrow, I don't think that's going to be any better. I mean, the price ranges recently have been pretty wild. So, what up, MobX? All right, guys, it is 10:15. I am going to get started here. As always, I'm going to do a quick introduction. Welcome to Project 365. My name's Alan. I'm Azheng Trades, previously known as Uchiha Trades. I am the pre-London host. I am one of 5 hosts that stream 5-6 days a week, 10 hours a day. So if this is your first time hopping in, definitely drop a like and subscribe. I think we have something to offer for everyone. And the fact that we are quite literally almost over all the important areas: Asia, pre-London, New York, Power Hour. I mean, we're covering off quite a few bases here. So definitely worth tuning in. Even if you don't care for my stream, there are other hosts that will offer great value over the course of every week. This is week number 9. We're about to close up week number 9, which is kind of crazy to even think about that. When I think about the fact that this is the first time I've ever streamed was Project 365. So for all the loyal followers who have been kind of tuning in, I definitely do appreciate it. I remember all of you guys just because, again, we're always chatting in the chat there. But for the newer guys that are coming in here, generally, because I have the slower session, I have a lot of opportunity to kind of answer questions. So feel free to answer it. I'll leave the kind of those text in the screen there just as a fresh reminder for you guys. As I go through the NQ and the gold trade review, I'm going to basically talk about what I'm seeing from a top-down analysis perspective of what to expect from today. I'll talk about basically from the last analysis I gave from yesterday, that's the prior stream, what we talked about and how that played into the London Open, the New York, and then coming into today as well. As you guys already know, for all of you guys who have been following me for the past 9 weeks, everything we talk about on one stream, even if we don't trade it, will be prevalent for other sessions as well. So I think there's a lot to be had there. So good to definitely to pay attention to that. And then I'll talk about obviously what I'm looking for from today specifically and see if anything happens. Unfortunately, when you come into my stream, you do end up kind of getting stuck in the chop. So it's okay. I mean, you could either trade the range or hold the trade for a longer period of time. And if you want to see how that goes, over here, we can just chat, right? And just so you guys know, I do a pretty good job of answering the questions in the chat. But as I'm doing the chart review, though, I will not be looking at the chat. So if you're asking questions, I will get to it at some point. I just won't get to it during that period of time. Once we get to 250 thumbs up on the stream, I will do a 50K giveaway for a rapid... Actually, no. Let me take that back. Actually, I just realized we got new codes, actually. So we're not doing that anymore. We actually have 25K, I believe, growth accounts with Tradeify. No activation fee accounts. So just FYI to you guys, that's going to be what we're going to be running up today. I think I covered the basics and fundamentals. So with that, let's get right into the NQ chart and talk about what we're seeing here so far. So on the weekly time frame, let's start off with that as we usually do. Obviously, a very big push up from where we were trending. You know, there's been a lot of people who have been asking me, Alan, you know, should I be shorting this now that we are in a downtrend? And I kept telling people that I don't think we're in a downtrend, right? You know, I don't, just because we had these big moves. I mean, if you think about how large a move we've had up already, saying that it's a downtrend is a little kind of crazy to think about it that way. Now, with that said, you know, as we were coming down here, the daily bar that we had on Wednesday, it was looking like we were going to break structure cleanly. And obviously this most recent trading session completely saved that, right? Now, does it mean we're in the clear? I mean, very similar to how we talk about chart patterns at the smaller time frames. We could still make bigger moves to the downside. Again, tomorrow's Friday. We got SpaceX IPO. There's a lot going on. So a lot of speculation there in itself. If we can reclaim structure back above, you know, it'd be nice to get back above the, you know, like the 29.9 area would be kind of great. I mean, even getting back into the 30,000 zone again would be a nice indication of potentially continuing to move up higher and higher and higher. But yeah, I don't think we're super bearish on NQ. When we get to gold, I'll talk about more. But as I mentioned on NQ, there have been weakness. We've been able to short it, but it's not predominantly what I've been looking for. I've been still looking for bullish trade setups on the NQ, whereas gold, I've been more bear. And I think that theme has been the case for quite some time. So the loyal followers, you know that that's pretty much not a surprise at this point, right? Hourly candle that we just closed off this last hour. Again, we're kind of just ranging. If you look at it, we're kind of in a pennant right now. And for those who are newer to trading, who don't know what a pennant is, this is what a pennant is, right? So we're kind of squeezing at the moment. The last hourly candle makes me think that we do have room to go higher. However, we do really need to get above VWAP here. VWAP is basically acting as a ceiling to us. So we just need to be cognizant of that. And then coming into this, you can see here, like I said, we are ranging, so not a surprise. Either you keep playing this range until you're finally wrong, or you just stay clear, right? I see in my peripherals that someone asked a question about how to trade I'm assuming you meant to say pennant. Generally, you're looking for a breakout. You're either trading within the squeeze of the pennant, or you are trading the breakout of the pennant. I'm not a breakout trader, so I don't advise for that, but just letting you know that that's just kind of essentially how people look at it. Now, going on to the NQ. Now, you guys know, yesterday we caught 2 good trades. Was it 2 good? Yeah, 2 trades yesterday on the overall stream, and then I caught a couple more over in New York as well when I was on my one-on-one with my students. But over the NQ, you can see here already that right here was pretty much when we started up. And you guys saw me take my short trade. I caught a 50-point trade to the downside, entering the short here, and then I stopped in profit for 14 points. And if you guys remember, or no, 20 points, sorry. I mentioned to you guys that had I just kept my stop loss where it was, as I normally should, I'm okay again for demonstration purposes moving my stop, because a lot of traders do ask me a lot of the time, if you were to move your stop though, Alan, where would you move it? So I don't mind demonstrating that for you guys. It really doesn't bother me one bit. But had I left my stop loss where it was though, I would have been able to capture my last contract for 100 points, which in total, that would have been equating to a $3,000 trade, which I settled for $1,900 last night, which is still pretty good, all things considered. Now, I've obviously resetted my levels and my chart setups, but what you can see here is that channels are the ones that I really don't reset all too much. You can see here going into the London session, we did have that breakout above the channel, and then we held, and whether you want to call this a flag, a pennant, consolidation, whatever it is you want to call this, we consolidated above the channel after we had broken above it, and then we broke out all the way up to the area of interest at 28,928. So if you manage to catch the long there, solid trade. Again, once again, leveraging that reference point, right? Now you'll notice that going into the course of the rest of the London session, that 28,928 area of interest that I had was pretty much the high of the overnight session. We kind of whipsawed back and forth, held the channel with the 200 EMA, came back up here again and topped again, and had an absolute sell-off, pushing us all the way down to this structured channel that we drew together while we were on stream yesterday. And we put in a nice 2-minute failure to go lower that ended up causing a setup for us to take to the longs up towards the channel again and the 200 EMA. And then from there on out, we came back down off the New York Open. And I mentioned this as well with a couple of guys. This is where it got really tricky, because I think everyone was looking for shorts here, but we held this structured channel very well. So this double bottom setup off that channel structure ended up becoming a very solid entry for longs. You can see here that for those who have been trading New York recently, and I say recently because, yeah, you know, New York has always had big moves, but as of late, the moves have been really big, really big. And I say that because, like, those who have been being used to like smaller candle sizes, right, is having probably a very hard time trading New York. So for many of you guys right now, if you're trading New York, if you're not sizing down already, I mean, really you should. I mean, if you're blowing accounts right now, it's probably because you're sizing too high. I mean, when you're having 50-point, 60-point 2-minute candles, you're going to need a wider stop loss, which also means that from a contract size perspective, you'll need to size accordingly for you to ensure that you can survive the moves that are taking place on the given market. Over the course of New York, I scalped a couple of trades when I was on a call with my student. I didn't really trade much because, again, my focus was with the individual. But I managed to scalp a short trade up here, and then I scalped another short trade over, let me just double check the time. I need to check the 5-minute time because I only remember what it looked like in the 5-minute. And then I scalped over here around 7:45 Pacific Standard Time. So those were kind of my 2 scalp trades, but you can see here that that area of interest, the 28,928 that we referenced on the overnight, it ended up becoming quite a good spot for us to actually short. And in the same way, that structured point, even though, yeah, we did break it through once, this structured point ended up becoming a very key level. So if you didn't double bottom the trade off the opening, that news candle basically rocketed off of this spot again. So this is technically, if you think about it, including the pre-market session, that was a triple bottom off a structured channel that we had talked about last stream. And of course, you wouldn't expect it to move this big because obviously news accelerated the move. But man, are you a happy camper if you manage to catch that? You know, again, different people, different entries. I mean, I'm not gonna even go to say that this is a entry that I would have wanted to take per se. But yeah, I mean, that was a, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 within 10 minutes, 500 point move. I mean, that's insane, right? And just to put into retrospect for those who are newer, that means if you had one mini contract, you would have made $10,000 in 10 minutes, which is kind of unbelievable, right? But solid move up. We came back up, we consolidated, we held. That's 29,113. If you guys watched my stream from like 2 streams ago, I referenced this 29,113 spot as well. We ended up consolidating with a nice bounce off, and then that acted as a higher low continuation to the upside, which is where we finished off, up where this other channel is. Since we've opened, we've held above Globex on the NQ. You can see here bouncing, holding the line here. Even now, this is where earlier, like I said, we had like that hourly pennant squeeze. That's what we're experiencing right now, is we're just ranging and we're squeezing right now. If you end up staying cash this session, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. If you want to trade the range, you absolutely can. You just got to manage your expectation in that. But yeah, overall right now, what we essentially want to see is that we're either going to look for us to kind of trade with this range back and forth, right? We can look for a bounce to see if we can bounce off Globex again for longs to the upside, and how much longer can we go. Obviously that's going to come down to managing expectations for yourself, right? Otherwise, if we're looking for a breakdown like on shorts, I'd love for us to break down beneath Globex and retest it for short to the downside. That's what I would want to see, right? So I'll leave that kind of the arrow here for now. If we're looking for a long that is not based on the bounce of Globex, I would like to see us break back above VWAP and hold VWAP for a continuation to the upside. So that's essentially what I would kind of be looking for if I was trading the NQ. Those are a couple of 2 cents of my thoughts. I'm just going to go through the chat quickly, make sure that if there's any questions I can answer, and then I'm going to hop over to the gold trade review, okay? In the sound where you say, now we are in a downtrend. So Peter, you know, again, I think the point of the term downtrend, the way I look at it is that if I'm thinking that the overall chart's on a downtrend, it means that we're breaking structure on the larger time frames. Could you have an intraday downtrend? Absolutely, you can. But overall, if I'm talking about a pure downtrend, it has to be happening on the larger time frames. And for me, I just haven't seen that yet, right? Gold is quite evident. Gold is a perfect example, which we'll get to, of a downtrending on price. Yeah, Rafian, yeah, I think so. I mean, SpaceX being added is definitely going to play a role in that. Abraham, no, I'm not. I think you asked that question earlier. I already answered that. I'm not in a trade yet. Doing chart review. Yeah, J Rock, man. I mean, I don't blame you. It's been very choppy. So Adam, I mean, you know, when you see like the price range the way it is, you see J Rock, he kind of made the comment about ATR. The ATR does make a big difference. I think that's one of the things that I really value about the FF indicator, because personally, I myself, I don't like look at it all too much. But give me a second here. I'm just trying to. Give me a second here, guys. Sorry. At the bottom here, you probably can't see it because it's actually kind of cut off on the stream here. Oh, there it is. So on the FF indicator, if you see on the bottom right hand side, it actually shows you what the ATR is for the current session that you're in. So like if this was the New York session, it would automatically show you what your ATR is, and that will actually give you a sense of like how to essentially trade that, if that makes sense. So you can see here right now, ATR is 14 points. and ATR is 23 points on that time frame. So that's just some example, but again, completely up to you and decide how you want to read that as well, though. But that's just an example. ATR stands for average true range, my friend. Yeah, almighty SoCal. Channels are very subjective because essentially what it is for me, it's just, their support resistance across multiple time frames. It's just kind of whatever kind of pivot spots that you like to look for. But I mark them on multiple time frames though. Sometimes I even do them on smaller time frames just as a visual. The FF indicator is a paid indicator. It's one of the only things that I'm kind of like subscribed to on in regards to that for extra confluence. But you can always do like a trial as well with them. They do like a 10-day free trial. The link's actually in my Instagram bio as well if you are interested in giving it a shot. But they do a 10-day free trial, so like if you don't like it, it's like no pressure, man. I mean, I think a good rule of thumb, to be honest, when you're talking about managing your size overall, is like if you see candles, like if your first few minute candles are like 50, 60 points, I mean, I think that already gives you a sense of like what that needs to look like, right? So anyways, with that, I'm going to hop into the gold trade review next. All right, so weekly on gold, it's been super bearish. We've tagged the lower area of interest that we talked about, which is obviously good to see. On the daily, we kind of talked about this earlier. We got that gap up here, but I do think we have very good plausibility to come right back down here tonight. When, I don't know. I mean, that's just where, like, you know, it becomes speculative if we kind of play the guessing game, and you know me, I don't like to do that. The hourly candle that we had earlier was also a sell candle, so it's definitely giving me, you know, short vibes in regards to that. So far, if you guys remember, I had a forecast box, and I'll show you that over here. That was the gold forecast box I pointed out earlier on, just because someone asked me about what my thoughts were, and I said I think short and gold would be good. And so right now you can see here already, we already had half the move on gold, and if you had entered when I mentioned it earlier on, this would have been close. We'll basically hit that. That'll be an 11-point trade to the downside, which on 1 mini that would have been worth 1,100 bucks. Now, coming back to the trade review here, though, we are looking bearish, right? Like if we break beneath the 4197.5 area of interest that I'd had on here for a while now, I do think that we have the ability to keep moving lower on price here, and ideally, similarly, kind of like how I kind of mentioned about NQ. What I would really like to see on gold is like a nice break and retest. So break beneath the area of interest, and then get that retest continuation back down. So again, I'm definitely more bearish than I am bullish on gold. Now, if we have a very strong bounce reaction here at 4197, I'm open to longs, but you'll have to very much manage your expectation. Very similar to how I view and how I talk about the NQ. Generally speaking, I'm saying that if I'm playing with the larger time frame trend, I like to, I'm more open to holding for a higher R multiple. But if I'm going against the grain, then I'm generally not going to be shooting for more than 2R. Like definitely I'll be exiting that trade because I don't really want to, you know, fight against the trend as usual, right? So yeah, that's kind of for gold right now. That's kind of my thought process. I'm definitely bearish though, right? Like again, there's the long stuff, there's the short setup, but those are kind of my thought process on it so far. Look at that, so close, so close. You guys see that? The 11-point technically hit because my trigger point is actually just 1 point or a pip beneath that beneath the channel, but right there that would have been in. So if you would have entered off the beginning of the stream, within 30 minutes you would have hit your target. 11-point short trade to the downside on gold. Dara, hope you've been well, man. Hope you've been well. Good to see you again. Morning Star, man. Hope Hope you've been well as well. It's been a while. Siraj, if you're talking about the FF indicator, that's specific to the futures forecaster. If you go and click on my Instagram link there, you'll find it. It's in the link tree there. You can do like a 10-day free trial. There you go. Gold is just pushing right through that now. So nice move to the downside. Expecting this now as we take a look at, let me switch back to this chart. You can see here, we are bouncing off the area of interest. Now, bouncing, when I say that, I just more so mean that it's reacting. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to give you a long setup here, but it's not surprising that we are. It's an area of interest for me for a reason. Amir, nope, just finished the chart review. Usually for me, if I'm not already in a trade coming into the stream, I don't take trades until after the chart review. Just because I don't want to manage and look at stuff while I'm giving you guys info on what I'm looking at. Hassan, my white line is my area of interest. I don't know if this is going to be a fake out, but the NQ looks like it's trying to make its move down too. Neva, I totally understand, but I personally would disagree. I think the chart review is definitely far more important, because if you want to learn how to trade without having someone show you where to enter, that is honestly where the juice is, and that's where the knowledge is, right? So, but I understand what your point is. But if you're asking me what would I choose, I would definitely, and I think the chat would probably agree as well. You would prefer me to give up a chart review just so that I could take trades right off the gate. That's two, right? That's two things right there. And I think there's also the thought process of thinking that there's always a trade to be had. Sometimes you can sit in front of a screen for 2 hours and there could be no trades at all, right? So just think about it that way too. I think that's also the misconception, is that a lot of people, and I talk about this with students as well, if you're sitting in front of a screen and you think that you need to trade all the time, I think that's your problem already too, right? As a trader, because in the end of the day, not every day is going to offer a trade. Jake Ricci said this long time ago, and I remember because we talked about it years ago too. When the price moves on the chart, you have to ask yourself that question: was that a trade or was that a move? Because the price is always going to move up and down. But if there was no trade setup that aligned with what your trade plan is, then essentially what you're doing is you're just kind of gambling. If that makes sense, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense, right? I'm liking that the NQ is pushing down off this rejection of the VWAP though. Like, that's looking good. Like, we're starting to make this move now, so this is nice. So I don't know if anyone shorted this right now on the NQ, because that's a nice hold. So this is an example of, and you guys have seen me take range trades before, right? This is an example of that if I was using the VWAP as the top of the range, then I would have entered it with the intention of, scalping and getting out really quickly, so to speak, right? But for those who have held, this was a nice one. Yeah, Daniel, I don't blame you, man. I get it. On the FF indicator as well, this is a good example of, we had that nice curve of the major trend line and the trigger line there. Just to highlight. This is the trend line, that little colored line there. This is the triggered line in the 2-minute. We had that convergence there. And then we're also holding the 5-minute trigger line. And so that's a good example on just using it as additional conviction. Again, a trade is never taken just because an indicator shows it, because indicators are always going to be considered lagging indicator, right? Lagging information. But nevertheless, if you had like a trade thesis where things are looking great and the indicator acted as a great additional conviction, that's what you want in that trade, right? Gold looks like it's starting to break beneath the area of interest. Remember what we talked about? We want to see if we can get a break below and a break and retest for continuation on gold. Right now, NQ is bouncing off Globex. It looks like it's trying to anyways. We'll see if it gets follow through. Yeah, Peter, man, you know, he made a very good question. I think we have a lot of traders, and I myself struggled with this in the early days, which his question was, I would rather be right than make money. How do I change that? And I think that what you got to understand is that there's that fallacy of you can control the outcome of the market. You can't. You and I, everyone in this chat, even if all of us were to throw every penny we had in our bank at a short on NQ or a long on NQ, NQ ain't moving nowhere. We are nothing in the grand scheme of things, right? So we need to be able to relinquish control and that controlling nature of thinking that we can bend the market to our will. We just have the privilege to ride the wave that is the market. And the sooner that we can understand that, the better we will be. A surfer who surfs the water isn't looking to control the bending of how high those waves are. They simply understand how to ride the low and the high waves that come from the ocean, right? So I'm hoping that that kind of like analogy kind of helps speaks to that a little bit. And to every single person, there's always going to be a little bit of a difference on what that represents, because everyone has different reasons as to why they have a controlling issue, right? And so you definitely have to relinquish control. Appreciate it, gang. Just go into the chat, guys. Can you explain to me how a market can only be moved by enormous amounts of money and still get moved 23/7? I find that hard to understand. Yeah, man, absolutely. So Dara, I mean, you know what? The reality is that, you know, as much as we may be influenced to believe that the United States is the center of the world, right? And in a lot of cases, that's not really true, right? So when you think about futures in itself, and I have to say, futures trading has really widened and broadened my horizon and thought process around what trading represents. And so if you think about it, in futures, you've got the Globex opening, which is kind of where it's called Globex because it represents the world, right? We open up the futures market, and from there, we got the first major market that opens, which is Tokyo. And then between Tokyo and London, there are a lot of other sessions around the world that are opening up and trading and injecting and divesting liquidity in the marketplace, right? And then London is the next big opening, which comes basically at the end of our stream here. And then followed by New York being the biggest one with the biggest volume, right? So when you think about that, there's technically always big money coming into the market and moving the market. It's just that certain sessions are bigger than others, right? And so for those who don't know, even for example, like there's a reason why for me, when I trade the New York session, why I like to wait, you know, for at least an hour or even a little bit more if needed. Because if you think about it, a lot of us reference power hour over New York as 12-1. But if you think about it, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is what, 10:30 Eastern and 11:30 Eastern, that's all also in some way a form of power hour. And kind of pop quiz to the gang, do you guys know why I'm saying that? Do you guys know why I'm saying that 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is basically after the first hour opens? Why do you think I'm referencing that as a very important hour? Anyone want to take a stab at guess at that before I answer that? Absolutely. So Baljit, one of my students already knows it because we talk about this a lot, but that's the London close. London closes at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that move that's happening there is basically that same fast liquidity that we're seeing during the 12-1 period on the New York session. And 12-1 as in for Eastern time, that's 3-4, right? So thanks, Joshin. Yeah, Sergio, you knew what I was talking about too. What's gold doing right now? All right, so we're bouncing. We're bouncing off the lows. We're bouncing off the Asia lows right now. So I don't know if we're going to get a continuation or not. Right now, I'd really pay attention from a structure point. I'd really pay attention to this. If you were to have taken a long, I mean, That would have been that 2 minute, and you would have basically risked the lows for the there. That would have been a 1 hour trade, and that would have been probably your safest trade. And I only say safest in that method because I'm thinking that if this is going to continue, this would be a lower high structure point that we would watch for gold to the downside. Gold does not mirror NQ, Nikki. I mean, gold shorts, I wouldn't blame you. I would have liked for us to break beneath the area of interest and retest it. I don't like this kind of short, even though, yes, we're respecting the lower high structure. I don't like it as much because we could still put in a potential higher low here. No, Nikki, don't worry about that. I mean it when I say that I'm here to answer questions, guys. But definitely, I see that there's about 380 you guys on the stream right now. So welcome, guys. If you guys are newer, feel free to hop in the chat and chat. I'm here to answer questions as we kind of go along. I'm Azheng Trades. I'm the pre-London host for Project 365 here with the Rate Trades Network. You guys, we can get our thumbs up to 250. We'll do a 25K growth account with Tradeify, which basically is there's no activation fee for these accounts. Great beginner account for traders. Nice, we're starting to break beneath. So we locked in a 2 minute lower high at that structured flip of resistance and 200 EMA as well. So I'm not sure if anyone is in short on this. I see someone say that they're in a short at 484. Nice, nice. Let's get this. William, I don't know what your PT is right now. I hope we break through this channel. If we break through this channel, then we're looking for a support bounce pretty much here at where I put this pivot. Right here. I'll change the color because I don't want to misinterpret this for an area of interest. One R could have been had on this trade already off the short. 2R on NQ is coming up here. XAZ, I'm not too sure, man. I actually didn't spend a lot of time on YouTube searching free content prior. I kind of just spent time with the people that I worked with at the time, and that's pretty much all. So I'm sure there's stuff though online, like there has to be. I just don't have any recommendations for you right now. Really, Nevo? See, that's the stuff that I'm never aware of. You know, sometimes people ask me for my opinion on stuff like news or like financial data. It's like that's definitely not my edge, not in trading at least. Like I read financial statements and all that stuff. Like I understand that very much so, being an entrepreneur and working with restaurant entrepreneurs at that. But when it comes to like global economics and like how the market will respond, I don't have an edge in that area. It doesn't mean that I don't know anything at all, but I don't have enough confidence in the knowledge for me to be like, oh yeah, because of this information, I know exactly how to trade this news. Like that's not where my strength is. Theo, I pretty much only trade New York with students. Like otherwise, if a student isn't booking a one-on-one with me, I am not doing New York. Just because like that's a lot of sleep that I'm losing for me to do that. Because it means that if I'm doing a student one-on-one during New York, that means I have to actually wake up even earlier to do my work stuff beforehand, which means if I'm getting off stream at midnight my time, I basically have to wake up within 3.5 hours to do my work before I get on a one-on-one with a student on New York. So I don't trade New York as much anymore since I started this pre-London stream. Ricky, yeah, man, you can see where my pivot spot is. We already have this drawn out, right? So if we can bounce and head up there, yeah, I'm open to a short off Globex there. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Peter. I just don't spend too much time in that arena for those reasons. I generally use it for more the entrepreneurial side of things. A lot of entrepreneurs actually who ask me when they're trying to scale their business, they'll often ask me like, "Oh, Alan, should I go publicly traded? Should I do that?" And I always say, "Nah, man. If you have the ability to stay private with your business, stay private, man. Don't go public. More control over your business, man." And never 100%, man. Yeah, Ibrahim, I will. If I'm not talking already, and if I find a trade, I absolutely will. What a beautiful lower high though off that 200 EMA, man. Damn. What a move. Whoever's cooking on those shorts, man, congratulations in the chat, man. Let's go. Dara, no, that was just a that was the overnight that was the Asia low. This purple line's just the Asia low. That's all it is. Theo, I have students from all around the world, so they trade everything. Asia, London, New York, everything, man. J Rock, let's go, man. Solid short, buddy. Morningstar, let's go, brother. Good stuff, man. Good short. Hey Zach, man, honestly, I don't blame you for not shooting for a lot, man. I mean, when we're ranging, it's kind of dicey for you to hold for those bigger moves, right? Nice, Marty. What up, Tasty Tiger? Theo, to put into perspective, 90% of my record success that I achieved last year was from trading Asia and London. So you're asking the person who has done more on Asia than New York. So I'm a little bit biased with my answer. What's up, Tasty? You commented about MNQ. Something happening on MNQ? Yeah, 100%. Money's money. Nice, 20 points with 2 NQ. That's good, man. That's a solid $800 trade there, Morningstar. Theo, price action, man. It's slower. If price is slower, it gives you more time to assess the data and act on that data, right? New York moves so freaking quick. You have, like, just think about it this way, right? It's like, the way I describe it is that when you're driving a car at 50 kilometers or 35 miles an hour, it's easier for you to dodge and swerve out of the way if you need to, right? And that's the Asia session. Whereas if you're driving 100 kilometers an hour or 90 miles an hour, well, that reaction time's gonna have to be a little bit faster. And the difference, if you think about between those two analogies, is that when you're driving and you're trying to steer out of the way at 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers an hour, well, if you think about it, your adrenaline at 100 kilometers is a lot higher than 50, which means that now not only do you have to react to dodging the car accident at a higher speed, you also have a more heightened emotion. So the chances and probability of you achieving that is a little harder. So trading the sessions is very similar in my opinion, where the Asia market is slower, so it gives you more time to digest and react to price. Whereas on the other end, it's going to be a little bit harder, right? When it's faster. Hopefully that makes sense anyways. Why is the price of spot gold different than spot gold? Because your chart is different than mine. Rafi, I don't really know. Other than I'm just trading futures. I mean, are you on GC1, the GC1 chart? I don't know if maybe your data's lagging. I can't. It's hard to say. Thanks, Agar. Have a good night, Morningstar. Yeah, this week's been crazy. If people aren't sizing down over the New York session this week, you're getting wrecked. Dara, if you think about what the opening represents volume coming in the moment that the market opens, right? So you're always going to have the highest volume in that period. Prop firms is leverage. For $5,000, I can either risk $5,000 of my own money in a trade, or with $5,000, I can go buy 20 accounts and scale that up to make $40,000 in cash, right? So it's prop firms is a no-brainer, to be honest, man. It makes no sense to have to risk your own capital if you don't have to, especially since prop firms now have accounts that are so user-friendly, like the Lucid Flex plans, which I totally recommend. I think they're like, what? I think they still have the 50% off right now if you've never used them before. Otherwise, I think the default's at 40% off, but the Lucid Flex plans is basically the easiest, right? There's no consistency rule, no daily loss limit, like there's no rules. So that'd be my perspective on that. And Ed, welcome, man. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to Project 365, gang, for all you guys are here right now. I'm Azheng Trades. I'm the pre-London host for Project 365. Tasty Tiger? No, nothing specific open right now. I think someone was just asking the question about why does market open matter so much. Yeah, man, Zegar, you have to size down right now. It's crazy. Not sure what the news is. Haven't really looked at the news at all. Good morning, Christopher. I don't think we've bottomed yet, Sagar, to be honest, on gold. I think we could have the possibility to close the gap tonight, which is why I'm still super bearish on gold. Previous days. Those are just the previous day highs and stuff on the chart. Are there payout caps on Lucid Flex? There's payout caps on every prop firm. You just have to read the fine print. Tasty Tiger, I don't remember what time zone you're in, but Asia market, which is the Tokyo market, opens at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right now because of the time zone. But obviously, with when the daylight savings changes, they'll be back to 4 p.m. And London opens at midnight Pacific Standard Time. KG, confirmation for what you're referring to right now. Yeah, if you're Eastern, Tasty Tiger, then that London opens up at 3 a.m. for you. I don't trade CFD, so I can't speak to that. Hello, Gupko. Gold's just pushing lower right now. Johan, payout cap isn't payout cap. Well, technically there's payout caps per cycle when you request it, but more so payout cap for the lifetime. So there's a maximum amount that every prop firm is willing to pay you out. What's going on, Dave? No, never. No. I don't even know what that is. Sup, Simon? Duchess, either or, man. Both of them are good. Just really depends on what price is looking like. That's the reason why I like having both tickers, is because I like to rotate between the two. Sometimes gold will trend better than NQ and vice versa. So whatever work makes the most sense, man. Hey, man, it's up to you guys with the giveaway, man. I'm waiting for you guys. We get the 250 thumbs up, we can do that giveaway right away. There's 450 guys on stream right now, man. There's no reason why we can't get those thumbs up right now. It's just EDM, man. It's an EDM soundtrack. Maddie, futures. Futures is way easier than options. Options has way too many things that you have to account for. Big boy trading, man. You're trying to bring up the degen in me. Devin, I mean, you know, it honestly, there hasn't been a very specific like line in the sand of where volume picks up right before pre-London. Like, it kind of is a hit and miss. Like, I think the guys who have been on the stream with me for the past 9 weeks will say the same. Some days you get really nice moves, some days not so much. How confident are you the low is not yet in for all-time high? I mean, I don't, as I always say, I don't really like to just say I know for sure. I think right now, based on the way that we kind of moved up, I think that we could still continue going higher from here, to be honest. But time will tell. Me, it's Friday and it's SpaceX IPO. News reaction that can change everything, right? And that's what I mean by I have no edge when it comes to reading like those kind of news. So I'm not really too sure what to expect and how that's going to impact trades tomorrow. Simplify, I kind of went through the chart review earlier on. I'm bearish on gold. I'm still bullish on NQ. Even if we might have some intraday weakness, I'm still bullish on NQ. Adam, I'm not in anything right now. You'd see me if I was in something. I actually show my live trades when I'm trading. I'm watching to see how we retest Globex up here. Trade WAP. If you're just flipping micros just to pass your eval, man, it doesn't even matter what session you're trading, dude. So you can do that at any session. Hysteric. You must be born in the 90s or the 80s, man, based on your response. Yes, we used to call them techno. So if you're new to trading, not short 257, I don't think you should be sizing up ever, to be perfectly honest, if you're still learning. Now, if you were asking me from an experienced trader perspective, yeah, I mean, I do size higher over Asia and London more than I do over New York. Like for New York, a full port for me would be like 3 minis. Like that's me full porting on New York on a funded account, right? Whereas on Asia, I might full port to 4 or 5 minis just because the price is just, it moves slower, right? So, depends. Elite Legacy, just reach out to me on Instagram, man. I don't go through that stuff actually on stream, just out of respect for what I'm doing here for the network. So just reach out to me on DMs there, Elite Legacy. Is there ever a reason for you to take an ES trade over an NQ trade? I don't trade ES at all, so that my answer would be no. I would never trade that. Globex Crystalline is the opening of the futures market. So that's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Gotcha. Yeah, so not 257, then you could definitely size more if you really wanted to. I size more over Asia compared to New York. That's for sure. previous day high. Linda. Trade crypto, what's going on, man? I'm bearish on gold still, yeah. And Q, not so much. What's up, Zay? From Slovakia. Hey, welcome to Project 365, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'd like to see if we can get some follow through on this short potential here on NQ. Get a short trade on NQ, guys. Let's see if we can get follow through. Not looking for a lot in this trade. Half red green box. This is the forecaster, Nikki. It's how you set your stop loss and your targets. Is it helpful to know the highs and lows? Yeah, I think the highs and lows of every session is always valuable to keep in mind. Not the reaction we want to see. So we might be putting in a potential higher low here. But again, this is where for a lot of us, when we look at trades, people might say like, you know, why not move your stop loss a little higher? For me, if price moves back above Globex, then the trade is kind of invalidated. Also from an R multiple perspective, I don't want to shoot for a super large R multiple. On this account, I'm not looking for a big win. I'm not looking for a big win out of this account, so. If there's a consistency rule, then I do follow it. I know not everyone will do that, but personally I would. I would really like us to get the move down now soon, and I'm only saying that because if this 15-minute bar closes bullish and it doesn't have that follow through down, I do think we have the potential to go up after this. So that 15-minute close will be a very important signal to me. Okay, so stopped out there. So let's see how this 15-minute closes. I'm going to wait. So a lot of times right now, so I want you guys to think about is that if you took a losing trade right now, how are you feeling? Do you feel like you need to make it back? Are you feeling adrenaline? Are you frustrated? If the emotions are overwhelming you in a trade, then what you need to do is step away, right? You need to walk away and step back. Sometimes there may be valid reasons for you to step back in a trade after you get stopped out. However, only if the trade plan validates that for you, right? So as of right now, I don't have a valid reason to hop into another trade. I'm going to wait and I'm going to see, okay? $6:30 a.m., man. 6:30 a.m. So Globex wasn't respected, but I'm still interested in seeing how we react up here, to be honest, up this channel. I'm not against shorting again, but I'd like to wait. Gold is likely to retrace back towards the 200 EMA from here. And you all, the question really comes down to is how many bullets do you want in your chamber? In that question. Do you want to blow it in 5? Do you want to blow it in 10 trades? How many trades do you want? That will answer your question of how much you're willing to risk. 50K, I usually say 200 bucks. So with a 25K, probably cut it in half, probably 100 bucks. It's 11:13 right now for me here, so we have about 50 some minutes, 40 some minutes be here before the London session opens up. In the meantime, we got about 217 thumbs up on the stream, just missing about 33 of them, and then we can do the giveaway gang for you guys. Tasty Tiger, I think there's always value looking at the highs and lows of any given session, yes. Hey, Karma. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. The reason why I have the arrows drawn there, by the way, is because I'm looking to see if price on NQ can come back up and reject up there instead. Yeah, 21 more thumbs up and we'll get the giveaway out to you guys. Right now, it looks like we're holding beneath the previous day high. It's a little tricky here. No trade entries for me. Personally, this is kind of where like patience has to come in. I think that this is where a lot of times people can look at this and be like, well, I was in a short. I just got stopped out. Now it looks like it's going to be short again. I'm going to hop back in the shorts. And well, guess what? If it doesn't follow through, what are you going to do? It's going to stop you out again, right? So for me personally, like I think the setup still has to make sense. And that's why we have to be a little bit patient sometimes when we're looking at this. Yeah, Dana, you know what I'm talking about. This is Gen Maicha, by the way, guys. If you guys have been in Vancouver, Paragon Tea, they have the best matcha and Gen Maicha and all that stuff. Paragon Tea is one of the best in the biz. What up, Jono? Yeah, they're really good. If you ever actually go to a Paragon Tea in Vancouver, you try their Obsidian Oat. It's so good. So good. One of my go-to drinks. We're 2 thumbs up away from doing a giveaway, gang. Nice. We're at that number now. I just got to get the bot set up here, and we will get going. Just give me a second here, gang. Alright guys, I'm just going to type this here just so that you guys have it. Okay, giveaway starting up, guys. While we're doing this, as usual, I'll go through my dashboard with the gang. Just give me a second here. Just gotta log into my trader stats here. I'm gonna go through that with the gang. All right, so just because I can't really answer any questions right now since you guys are spamming the crap out of the chat, we'll go through some of the trader stats so far. So far for the month of June, this is kind of what things are looking like for me at the moment from the P&L perspective, right? From a calendar, you can see here, so far, no more than 6 trades a day, just based on, between the trades I take on stream, trades I take on with one-on-ones, so on and so forth. You guys already know that prior to the streams, I used to trade a lot more, but it kind of coincided nicely for me because I did say that with how big of a year I had last year and how big of a start I had this year, I was looking to kind of dial back my trading a little bit anyways, just to take some time back and pivot my focus on a few other priorities in business and what have you. But overall, still a very solid month thus far. And then, you know, a lot of times people will look at this, from some of the newer guys that are here, you might see this and say like, oh wow, like you only have like one red day. This is the reason why I don't copy trade, guys. If I get a red trade, it's not the end of the world to me. I can hop back in with another account and take another trade, and that's generally what I essentially do, right? And that's how I usually come up on top still, because I can take a couple of red trades, but if I have some really good setups and I can capitalize on those setups, I can still end up the day green, right? So just kind of retrospective, like why that's so important to me. And to the point of why I talk about how my prior months used to be bigger, this is an example of that. Like you can see here in prior months, for some of the new guys who are on this stream, my prior months were a lot bigger back in the day. So me right now this year, my focus has been more so on coaching and student work more than anything else, because I'm really determined in helping my students collectively as a cohort beat me in terms of my payouts that I've achieved. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And then even from a payouts perspective, I updated the payouts just to reflect. So everything from June 1st till June 11th here is already updated here for Take Profit Trader. Just so you guys can see as well, if I go into the Take Profit Trader prop firm, you can see here the dashboard, basically from June 1st onwards. These are all the payouts that I've taken every single day, submitted, and also still pending another one that I just requested just a few hours ago. So just some updates on kind of how my trading is going and all that, just because I know a lot of people are looking for that transparency, and that's me showing you my transparency in that regard. Yeah, if you guys are curious, I know I get that a lot in terms of the questions on that. Just reach out to me on Instagram, guys. Anything around that, it's best to do that. So I put my Instagram link in here for you guys. If this purple line here wasn't the Asia lows, I would have shorted by now already. I like that 5-minute engulfing bar that we had, and I like the way that we're back beneath Globex and we're holding beneath the priority high. But again, because of the fact that I have this here, I'm a little uneasy. Just the way that we held this area twice already on the 2-minute time frame, and then knowing that this is the Asia low, yeah, I'm a little dicey. Hence why I'm in hesitation right now. We got about 40 seconds left, and then we'll be giving the account out. Looks like no follow through on gold. Gold being bearish. I'd be interested in shorting gold, to be honest. What would that risk be, though? I have to double check. Oh, sorry. I realize I have to do it over here. Oh, so the giveaway's done now, so I'm going to announce the winner, guys. Gamer Gang is the winner. I'm taking a risky short here, by the way, and the reason why I'm saying that is because from a structure flip perspective, this bounce here, we are kind of taking this resistance here before as a support. So this is kind of where the short is going to be risky, but I'm willing to take the risk right now on this trade. Let's give it a stab. Are you here? Yeah, you are here. Let's go. Nice. Okay, so this is my Instagram, by the way. Reach out to me, DM me, please, and I will send you the code there. I will send you the code after the stream is over. Now that we're at the amount of thumbs up now, If we can get to 400 thumbs up, we'll do another giveaway, gang. This 5-minute bar close on gold is going to be important to me, to be honest. Because right now on the 15-minute time frame, it makes me think that we can move back higher because we are double bottoming on gold. I am bearish, so I'm looking for this to be like a lower high to see if we can move lower here, which is the reason why I'm in this short. So I have some check boxes checking off as to why this short looks good to me. But I also understand if it doesn't work, this is kind of where you can see, right, where we're looking from a lower high structure perspective for the short to play out. But in the same way, when we came back down and we bounced, I also understand why this is like a resistance flip support bounce to the upside as well. So we'll see where this goes, guys. TPT can take a little while sometimes, man. TPT can take a little while. Like it comes out of your account fairly quick, but like to get it into your bank though, it takes like a couple of days based on like the transfer from your accounts over to your wallet, from your wallet to your payment portal, to your payment portal to your bank. Like there's quite a bit of a process, but I still like it a lot. So I treat it with respect that it deserves, right? So what and how does a prop firm work? Dylan, I mean, I would say the best way to go about that is to just YouTube that, because they go through a lot of explanation about that. But you're buying accounts with prop firms and you're able to trade them. I actually look at them kind of like you're basically being rewarded for playing a video game is essentially what you're doing. And then once you do get good enough, you get to move live, which is when they give you live capital to trade. Yeah, MF, My Fund of Futures, and Lucid are the fastest. And Tradeify is pretty close as a second. Yeah, let's get those thumbs up, guys. We got about, what, 81 thumbs up away from getting another giveaway account. What's up, Gavin? Doing good, man. Doing good. Is NQ moving down now? Yeah, it's tricky, man. NQ's in a very tricky spot to me. Candle bars make me a little concerned. Guys, you can see here why this structured point is so important, right? These two channels is pretty much where we're ping-ponging between right now on gold. Joseph. So I have a few different kinds. I have most of my accounts are 150K accounts, which means I have a $4,500 drawdown. I have a couple of 50K accounts as well. You don't like Lucid's live program? Really, J-Rock? Why is that? I'm actually very curious. I actually think Lucid has one of the better ones out there, man. But I am curious your opinion, though. Why is that? Michael, because honestly, I'm not a breakout trader. That's pretty much the reason why. I haven't traded Apex in a little while because I've been maxed out with them in a very long time now. I've capped it with them since last year already, so I can't really trade with them. But the experience now is completely different from when I used to trade, right? So it's hard to say. They start you at 0, yeah, but J-Rock, why is that an issue, though? Because, I mean, your drawdown is still the same, though. TP's right on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see that. I know you asked me where my TP is, but it's literally on the screen there. The safer TP would probably be around here. And the only reason why I say that is because of where we bounced earlier. That's the main reason for my comment. Geo, no, it doesn't. It doesn't concern me. Especially after that 15-minute hanging, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see. That is the concern. That's why I kind of made a comment earlier, Geo, was that, like, we could double bottom on gold right now, right? Like, that's the risk to my trade. So we'll see. Geo, I'm actually quite bearish on gold. So I'm looking for gold to kind of play out more with the probability. If I was looking for like gold to be more of a long thesis, then yeah, I mean, I definitely would be a little bit deterrent on taking this because of that double bottom. So let's see how we can play out here. This 5-minute close, man. I don't want this to close in a wick. I would like this 5-minute bar to close as like a Moribozu bar. Lucid flex plans are the easiest to trade. The pros give you the highest payout caps, but the lucid flexes are the easiest to trade, which I think is more important than the highest payout cap. I think that when you're trading these, like the higher probability of getting a payout to me is more important than how much more can you get. Giveaway wise, we got to get to 400 thumbs up first, guys. There's 500 of you guys on the stream right now, so if we can get to 400 thumbs up, we will do another account giveaway here. Lucid, they use Trade-Evade and they use Trade-C. Those are both options that you can use with them. And since there's a lot of you guys on here right now, some of you guys probably might be your first time. Sorry for the redundancy for those who've been on the stream since the beginning, but welcome to Project 365, guys. My name's Alan. I'm the pre-London host for this session. So I'm here 5 days a week from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time, or that's 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we stream basically with 5 different hosts, 10 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. So if you haven't already, definitely drop a like and subscribe. Would help us out a lot. And we do account giveaways on all our streams as well. So any love and support, much appreciated, gang. In terms of risking trade-wise, man, it all comes down to your comfortability. I would say 10 bullets in the chamber. So basically whatever your drawdown is divided by 10 is where I would kind of go with. It's a safe way to start. Mackenzie, when it comes to trading my evals, I actually treat them, I'm quite aggressive with them actually, just because I don't spend too much time wasting it on that. Mainly because I already know my edge as a trader, so I don't want to spend too much time in the eval phase. But for students, I always recommend that take your time and trade them like you would trade a funded, because you do want to be able to build good habits with it, right? So we're bouncing right now. Looks like that 41.97 AOI on gold that I had here. We're respecting that quite well. So I'm curious if this is going to be the potential higher low off the 2-minute double bottom. That's going to take me out. No problem at all. Furry dude, you'll have to rewind to the beginning. I did my chart review earlier on already. I just don't want to repeat it again for the gang that's here. Let's take a look at NQ since you guys are talking about it right now. Oh, okay, we're coming down now. We're coming down now. This Asia low though, man, we're struggling here to break lower. Interesting to see this. Yeah, I mean, NQ, I mean, as much as I would like to see it go lower here because it looks good, and this is what I'm talking about from earlier, right? Like, you guys might be a little bit infuriating right now where you're like, man, I shorted the retest and then this happens. That's so annoying. This is the type of stuff where I always say, like, you just got to make sure that you can, like, dial back and be like, okay, where was the miss, right? Like, what could I have done to refine that trade a little bit differently? And could you have wanted changed it a little bit more so that it made sense for your trade? A lot of the times, right, you got to remember is like when you were looking for your risk to reward, like what were you looking for in the trade? Like as long as it makes sense, then you can't really be too upset about it. And that's where like the rules come into play again, where your goal obviously as a trader is to be able to trade in a way where you could repeat that trade over and over and over again, right? Like just being systematic. Yeah, I mean, Shadow, I mean, double bottom, even quad bottom. If you take a look at the NQ from the Asia Open, we've bounced off that area multiple times already. Michael, I don't find it frustrating at all trading Asia and London. I prefer it actually. Because a lot of times I'm balancing other things. I'm trading and I'm actually doing work at the same time, so I like it. You think 29, 330 is in sight? 29, 330. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious why particularly that number for you, but yeah, it's possible. Yeah, 100% gang. We're still about 85 thumbs up away, guys, from doing that giveaway account. We also got about 20 minutes left until the London market opens here, gang. Thanks, do it. Appreciate it, man. Ugh. Not sure why you guys are typing in enter right now. There's no giveaway yet. We got to get 400 thumbs up, guys, before we can do the giveaway. All right, starting to get a little bit of action on gold there. Like I said, I kind of moved the forecaster box here because I do think that we have a chance of it bouncing here potentially, but I'm leaving my target where it is. If you were to go for 1R, by the way, guys, you would have been out of the trade already. 1R is basically locked in at this point. Did NQ hit the double bottom? No, no, we're starting to move. No, consistency rule just basically means that whatever your biggest day is, it can't be worth more than 40% or whatever your percentage is, depending on the prop firm, of the overall balance. So if it's a 40% consistency rule, it means your biggest day can't be more than 40% of your overall P&L. If you actually click on the FAQs, it actually does the whole formula breakdown for you, so you understand what it means. on the 5-minute. Oh, I see. Michael, I'll tell you right now, I hear you, but even at this time, you are not safe. There are actually times over the Asia and London session where there will be tweets and there will be moves. Quick question, do you run or exercise? No, I don't take any supplements at all. I don't run or anything like that. Part of my big move for my family and I is that I do want to repivot some priorities in life as well. I do want to get back into like the exercising that I used to do religiously. Like back in the day, I don't want to say prime, but when I exercised a lot more, I actually used to go, I used to do cardio punching bag. Cardio not as in like, I'm not doing like the drill bag, but like actually like going at the bag. I used to do that about 10-15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And then I used to actually like do like weightlifting and all that about 4 days a week as well. And honestly, that's when I felt my best. And I haven't done that in a while, so I really need to get back into that again. Praga, no, I don't do that. I let my trades play out. Franciscan, just you can reach out to me on Instagram about learning with me. Anytime, anybody who wants to like learn, work with me, just reach out to me on Instagram. We can take it offline. No problem. I'll answer as many questions as I can. If I missed your question, like if I didn't answer your question, it's probably because I missed it. Do you guys remember when I said that this was the best spot? That's literally where it bounced, guys. I'm gonna leave it though. I'm not touching this trade. I'm just saying though, like literally to the wick there. Drop the link for the music. There's the music link. Instagram link. Oh, trading bot. I never used to always be like that. I definitely pivoted over to this. I used to move my stops and move my targets and everything all the time. So, no. Yeah, right? Like, no joke. That's what I said. Like, when I said the trader, I was like, yeah, you know what? Really, if I think about it, if I really want to be safe, I should be shooting for this area right here because I think we were going to bounce based on where we bounced earlier. So yes, it is uncanny that it's literally to the freaking wick that we bounced there. But you know what? I'm going to let the trade play out, man. Price action has not given me a reason to exit this trade. So I'm going to continue to hold. Hey man, if you, and I just want to make sure you guys know, if you guys want to close out your trade, close out your trade. Like don't just do me, because in the end of the day, if I lose this trade, it will not faze me. But if you lose the trade because you followed me and you didn't, go with your plan or your gut instinct or whatever that may be, that's not going to be good for you, right? You're going to likely just tilt and it's going to create more problems for you later on. So do what you think makes the most sense for you, man. The daily chart on the NQ, I don't even remember anymore. What are we on? I forgot what I talked about earlier. Oh, let's see. No, I don't know if I would call that daily fail to go lower. It's definitely an engulfing bar though. But that's the thing though, right? With that big of a move, like what's tricky about the NQ right now is it's like, I think that before we make that move up, I think there's going to be a retracement, right? If you guys remember what I said before, I'm just going to delete this right now. If you guys remember what I said before, when we have big daily bars like that, like I don't trade the Fibonacci retracement often, but if we were to, I always like to reference the 50% retracement spot, right? So basically 28,905. Is the line in the sand. So what that means for me is that we could still go down there and then continue moving up, assuming that we want to move up. And that's a big if, right? There's always that speculation. The good scroll, I was using, I had some 50K accounts and I had some 150 accounts, 150K accounts, sorry, when I achieved the 70 some K in payouts. Ah, I see, J-Rock. Okay, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I don't trade. I don't really know what fair value gaps and stuff like that are, so I'm not sure what that means for you. Was I spot on with the NQ read? Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's what you meant. I know. It's unfortunate. I just entered a little too early, but it's all good. What's funny? Do you start your day in the account that's in most drawdown, or that's most? In terms of like my accounts, I usually start off with the accounts that mean the least to me. And what I mean by that is because, and the reason why I start with the accounts that mean the least to me first is because they kind of like, you know, when you're like warming up for like a fight, it's kind of like, you know what, if I make a couple of mistakes, then I'm making a couple of mistakes on the accounts I don't care about. I usually always save my take profit trader pro accounts till later on, because those are my daily payout accounts and I treat them like a live account. So that's kind of how I go about it. I don't know if SpaceX is gonna affect gold, to be honest. J-Rock, I'm in 2 Discords. But yes, I am in Jake's Discord though. I have my own channel in there. I didn't always, but I've ever since Project 365 though, I've had my own channel in there. Thanks, Elite Legacy. I appreciate it, man. I think it's wild that there's 476 people and we still don't have 400 thumbs up yet. It's a very easy way for me to give you guys an account, guys. Just saying. Jake, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He should, though. He should. Let me just double check. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, maybe not, actually. I don't see it. Some fell asleep. Yeah, that's probably, man. It's possible. I wouldn't blame them either. Yeah, he doesn't have one. I just checked. I thought he did, but apparently not. Mark. David, no, man. It's always a flip, man. That's the reason why I look at both tickers, because it can go back and forth between the two. So, hard to say, man. Hard to say. With 9 minutes left, yeah, I really do want some follow through down. I don't like that we're holding. We're reclaiming back above the AOI and holding. I don't like that. Please get hey, how are you? I want to ask, I'm in a short position to keep you in gold. Want to what's should I expect from market open London volatility? Pantom, that's the thing. I don't actually put a lot of emphasis or effort into what could happen at market open. That's the reason why a lot of times I don't do watch lists either. I mean, if you're shorting gold or if you're shorting the QQQ, I'm assuming it's because you're probably expecting a very bearish reaction based off of the IPO. I have no idea, man. I can't speak to that all too much. I mean, I did the chart review on NQ earlier on already and kind of spoken to that as well as gold. I think I'm more bearish on gold than I am NQ personally. You have to pass an eval for every account with Lucid to gain multiple accounts. If you pass one Lucid Flex with the eval, do you have to do another eval to get added another Lucid? J.S. Sullivan, I'm going to say yes. If you pass one account, you get one account. That's pretty much how the math works on that one. Am I seeing any resistance levels on the NQ? No, man. I mean, honestly, I think other than the indicator, man, like at the we have a 200 EMA indicator at the 5-minute time frame here that's coming up here soon at 29.3333. I don't have anything until 29.026 actually. So NQ could just free fall. Blech, free fall. Which is unfortunate to see because that's definitely the better move right now on the chart. Yeah, for sure. Passing evals, I mean, 100%. I had to go through a lot, man. Yeah, no, the NQ plan played out really nicely. It's just a little too early on it. So far, that short trade on the NQ. What was that? 100 points? Yeah, pretty much 100 points. Very nice, man. Very nice. 5 minutes left until the London session opens, guys. Balab, may I still enter a sell in NMQ? That's completely up to you, man. I mean, quite a bit of the move has already happened, so you'd be chasing if you entered the trade now. See you later, Celine. What open and where? I don't really understand your question. London opens in 3 minutes. Yeah, chasing trades are the worst, man. I know why people do it, but it's not good. Oh, that was a cereal cookie. That was a cereal cookie that I had. That was from, in Vancouver, there's a donut shop called Mellow, and that's where it's from. Because, Peter, as soon as you go public, you're giving up control over your company, man. The best, I would say, as an entrepreneurial spirit, the best way to go about it is open your business, run your business, and do the things that you believe means the best, right? Paying your people better, contributing to charities, all that type of stuff. The moment you go public, you're giving up a lot. And I personally would never subscribe to that. And that's coming from a person who's worked in the corporate world, right? So. But love, I can't tell you if it's gonna be a sell or if it's gonna be a buy. Sorry, dude. That's a hard one for me to tell you on. London's opening up here in 1 minute. Yeah, beloved, man. I think the best way to go about it right now is to just research, learn, study, right? Just throwing money at the wall. I mean, you're gambling at that point, right, my friend? And for myself as well, I don't like to say like, oh, once this market opens, you should short or you should long. We need to see where price is when the market opens too, right? There's a lot of things you have to factor into that. Yeah, so if you have ICT concepts already, beloved, then I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. Based on your ICT concept, does it make sense to sell? You know, is that the setup for you? I don't like that 15-minute close on gold. Like that area that I told you, the 1.5 R where we should have sold, that looks like the cleanest spot to have taken profit, to be honest. So this might take me out here. But you know what? I don't, as much as I don't want a hard stop, guys, I do kind of have to hard stop here on my stream for tonight. Just because I got a really early start tomorrow already. But hopefully you guys, as always, have had a good time on the stream and learned some things and all that. But yeah, thanks so much, by the way, guys, for like tuning in. This is closing out week number 9 from you guys. But yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. I will catch you guys on the flip side, and don't do anything crazy tomorrow, guys. It's Friday, it's IPO, there's a lot going on. Don't ruin your weekend, right? Trade safe, and have a great night, guys.